Hey guys, it's me, the Tomato Advocate. You know what I hadn't done in a long time? Listen to a full album. It's been this long since I listened to a full album, and that was a rap album that I listened to with my good buddy Carson. If you've been around the channel for a while, you know Carson. But yeah, I haven't really done one since, which kind of bums me out because I like doing full album reactions, and I've done a couple live streams, I guess. I don't necessarily know if that counts. I did a couple of lives. Actually, no, I have reacted to I reacted to 1st of October's album. For the sake of this video, I haven't reacted to an album since this. I haven't reacted out to an album in forever. And I kind of want to do this as a test to see how many of you guys are watching me because you want to find new music and you like me, or if you're just watching me because of the songs. It's okay. But today we're gonna be kind of out of left field here. I've been on a classic rock kind of phase, I guess. Been in a classic rock kind of phase, I guess, of the channel, and we're reacting to Dream Theater today, which is not really. It's not a classic rock band. It is a progressive metal band. Left field, but some of you guys are relatively new to the channel. The vast majority of you are. So I'll just let you guys know that I like pretty much any kind of music, except country. And even country, there's a couple artists that I can get behind. But yeah, we're checking out, it's beside the point. We are checking out OCTAVARIUM by Dream Theater today. This is this album is older than me by a month and I can't do math. About a month. It's older than me by about a month, which is a little weird. But I've heard a couple of the songs off this album. I've heard Panic Attack, Never Enough, and the title track OCTAVARIUM. But, I've never listened to the full context of this album, and I'm a pretty big Dream Theater fan, I'd say. I've heard Images and Words and Metropolis Part 2. I've heard the majority of Train of Thought as well, but I haven't heard that all the way through yet. If you see me, checking out my phone, looking at this little doodad here, it's not because I'm not paying attention to the music, it's because I'm writing down my thoughts, because I have a hard, if you haven't noticed, I have a hard time putting my thoughts into words, and that, it's not good for reviews. There are times when I'll listen to an album with a friend or something, and at the end of it they'll be like, "Well, what'd you think?" And I just kind of sit there and stare at them because, either I enjoyed the album or I didn't. Yeah, but at the same time, it's just like I can't. I have to listen to it a couple of times through to really form an opinion, and to prevent that, I'm just gonna write down what I'm thinking about each song. Then at the end, I can go back, look at my notes, and say, okay, I liked this, didn't like this, and then give it an accurate rating instead of just, the 8, So, that's enough messing around. We're going to get into it now. Alright, guys, without any further ado, we got OCTAVARIUM by Dream Theater. I hope this won't get blocked. Root of All Evil, track 1. The root of all evil. Let's get into it. Again, I'm taking notes. Ominous. I think it's just volume up a little bit. Is it making too loud? No. It's good. Oh snap, they're doing the thing. They're doing the train of thought thing. Oh! Oh, that's hard. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I need better headphones for this. New era, fellas. New era. So, I've been using Xbox headphones for the longest time. I've been using them since I basically started doing music reactions. And, got the studio headphones now. I've been using these on my, guitar pedal board. So this is gonna sound so much better. I can now hear colors. So this might kill me. If I die here because of how good this sounds, donate all my money to charity or something. I don't know. Okay, why does it sound like that?
2,000 years later.
Figured it out. Yeah, it's me from the future. I in fact did not figure it out. Yeah, so it's gonna sound a little off for the rest of the video. I apologize.
Dirty enough for me to lust, leaving nothing left to trust, jealous enough to still feel that it lives, lazy enough always late, entirely ready to leave it behind. I'm ready to betray. Take the key away, deep inside, cast them all away, and help to give me strength to face another day. I am ready. Help me.
This is repeated in OCTAVARIUM, I'm pretty sure. That kind of melody thing. Breakdown? Oh.
Self-centered fear has got a hold of me, clutching my throat. Self-righteous anger running out the window, ready to explode. Procrastination paralyzing me.
This is so good.
These obsessions that keep haunting me won't let my head. How to do for me what I can do myself. Take this fear and
They said that they...
I can't break out.
Wait.
Prison all alone. Help me break these chains. Yeah, now my only hope. Won't you take
It's right there. They said it.
I can feel my body breaking. I can feel
Bro, ain't no way. I don't know if I'm talking really loud or really quiet. These headphones sound fancy. John Petrucci, bro.
take all of me that desires the key deep inside. Cast them all away and help to give me strength to face another day. I am ready.
That's another melody that's in a different song. Is that an Octavarium? Oh, and it's unresolved too. Bro. Okay. Oh my gosh. Where has this song been my whole life? Like, actually, that song slapped. I gotta check something really quick. So, this came out. They have so many albums, like, cause they have live albums on here too. But let's scroll till I get there. So, Train of Thought was 2003. So yeah, they're just straight up referencing Train of Thought. That's crazy. So that means I should have reacted to this one first. But I guess I'll do that one next. Probably film them back to back. But oh my gosh, bro, that was a banger. So let me read you some of what I wrote down while the song was playing. So they did the Train of Thought thing. That's so cool. Nasty riffage, which, yeah, that's self-explanatory. Vocals were on point, you know, had me just like ascending. And it kind of sounded like old Dream Theater with some influence of the new Dream Theater. So it was a good mixture of the old and the new. Man, you know, because they started as more of like a, you know, they were always progressive metal, but they were not always like super heavy. And then 2003 rolls around, they released Train of Thought, and it's just face melting. So I mean, I can imagine that some fans had a hard time adjusting to that. So this is kind of like a more of a middle ground, you know, it's got the face melting moments, but then it's also got like the old just ascending Dream Theater stuff. So yeah, and then the last one, This Dying Soul reference. Oh my gosh, bro. For those of you who don't know, I'll play you a segment of the song so you can kind of get an idea of why I freaked out. So this is This Dying Soul. Yeah. Right here. They referenced that, and they kind of did the same melody too, and that oh my gosh, that's one of my favorite Dream Theater songs, and the way they just kind of went, oh hey, that was so unexpected. I wasn't ready for that. Yeah, easiest 10 out of 10 of my life, dude. First song. Okay, so enough talking about first song. We're gonna go to track 2. The Answer Lies Within. I should switch back to this. The Answer Lies Within. 5 minutes. Oh, I forgot to let it transition. Let me let it transition. Nature. That, oh my gosh, dude. Where's that song been all my life? That is so good. Oh, the transition. Oh my gosh. Alright. Answer lies within. Movie soundtrack-esque. Ballad here.
Don't be afraid.
Vocals again.
Not the only one. Don't let the day go by. Don't let it Don't let a day go by in doubt. The answer lies within.
Kind of sounds like Queen vibes.
Life is short,
Oh my gosh.
so learn from your mistakes. They go by in doubt. You're ready to begin. Don't let
Yeah.
a day go by in doubt. The answer lies within.
Whew. My gosh. 2 for 2 right now. That. Alright, so that was The Answer Lies Within, and man, 2 for 2. Good lord. So for this I wrote down the vocals, killing it again. Oh my lord, dude. There were Queen vibes. I wrote for the first part because I thought it was going to transition into something different, but it didn't. And you know, that's not a bad thing. I enjoyed the kind of ballad style. The message is fantastic. You know, don't let a day go by in doubt. The answer lies within. That, man, that's good. And it was super catchy. Honestly, bro, like another 10 out of 10. Like if this album keeps this up, and I know the other songs on here are 10, are the ones I've heard are also 10 out of 10s. So like, if it can keep this up, honestly, bro, might be my favorite album of all time currently is Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd, and yeah, I don't know, man. If this keeps it up, it might overtake it. Whew, man. So far the lyrics, I forgot to talk about the lyrics of the last song, but from what I've gathered from the 2 songs I listened to, Panic Attack, Never Enough, and OCTAVARIUM, this album is kind of about stress and overworking yourself and how that's harmful to you. And you know, the first song kind of led into that, just like, I don't know if it was a song about necessarily the main character, in case you weren't aware, all the Dream Theater albums are concept albums, so I don't know if the first song was like kind of the first main character's internal thoughts, or if it was something he was saying to like a you know, Never Enough. He's like dissing his higher up. He's like, you're stupid, what would you say if I walked away? So I don't know if it's like diss part 1 to his higher up, or if he's thinking all these things about himself. We're gonna see where the album goes. Another 10 out of 10. Oh my lord, dude. No complaints so far. 0. Track 3, These Walls. Transitions on point. That's so low. Oh my gosh. Bro. John Young? However you say his last name? Good lord, that bass. Bass solo. Bro. Got some Red vibes right now. For the Red's another band for those of you who don't know.
This is so hard for me to find the words to say. My thoughts are standing still.
just a Red song. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's beautiful. Bro. That riff is killer. This is just red right here, pure red. I'll give you guys an example at the end. Man. That was a good one too. That was kind of shocking, you know. I wasn't expecting to hear like kind of a more hard rock sound from these guys. It was a very good song. So here's what I wrote down for this song. Bass solo at the beginning. It's pretty dang good. Red vibes, obviously, like I just dove into. It was, you know, it kind of leaned into the hard rock. When I say hard rock, you guys probably think some of you guys think AC/DC, Led Zeppelin kind of stuff. When I say hard rock, I mean Breaking Benjamin, Red, 3 Days Grace, kind of bands in that vein. A lot of people would call them divorced dad rock. I don't, my parents are still together, so I wouldn't know, but, yeah, it was really good. And then another thing I wrote down was formulaic, but also unique. It follows a formula. Hard rock has kind of like a formula that it follows, and this is that formula. And you know, it can get old. Some people wear that formula out, like 3 Days Grace. I enjoy 3 Days Grace, but I would say they're a good example of people who wear that formula out. But they took that formula and were like, okay, but we're still Dream Theater. We're gonna put our own spin on it. So it followed the formula, but it was also unique. It was very nice. It's something that some people are familiar with, but with their own twist. It's very cool. I will say this was a bit repetitive. I mean, it's a hard rock song. That's a give or take. I'm gonna give this song a 9. You know, when I go back and think about this album, I don't think These Walls is gonna be a song that I really hammer and you gotta listen to the song, you know. But it's a good song. It is a very solid song. So yeah, let's let it transition into the next one. Got the.
There's a story in your eyes. I can see the hurt behind your smile. For every sign I recognize, another one escapes me. Let me know what plagues your mind. Let me be the one to know you best. Be the one to hold you up when you feel like you're sinking. Tell me once again what's beneath the pain you're feeling. Don't abandon me or think you can't be saved. I walk beside you wherever you are.
Sounds like a Christian song. It's not a diss. I'm Christian too, so it's okay.
No matter how far through all that may come and all that may go, I walk beside you. I walk beside you.
Okay, I'm sorry for pausing, but this is kind of where I'm headed to. From what I gather from the songs I've heard from Train of Thought, it's about a dude who either gets involved in like some sort of like demonic cult, or he makes a deal with the devil in a sense. Is this guy's coming back to God? Like, oh, I'm super stressed. Oh no, I'm freaking out. Is this guy's like, God walks beside me, or is this more about this? I mean, I guess it could be about like a lover, like a lover with a religious symbolism kind of behind it. Either way, it's pretty cool. Yeah, that original interpretation of the album is kind of different now. We'll see.
Summing up your coat.
Okay, that was I Walk Beside You. I'm very conflicted about this one because I like it. The lyrics are really good. Again, like I said, the religious kind of, it has religious undertones, even though I'm very sure this band is not Christian. It's, the lyrics, I think, these are my favorite lyrics in, off of this album so far. It could be about, it's kind of similar about some of the Christian bands I grew up on. Some of them were explicitly Christian, but then there was others that it could, you could be a Christian and listen to it and say, oh, this song's about God. But you could also be someone who isn't Christian and listen to a song and be like, oh, this is about a lover. It kind of gives me that vibe. So the thing I don't like is the chorus. The chorus is very radio friendly sounding. It's, it feels basic. It feels out of place to me. Maybe that's intentional. Maybe it's supposed to be like, why are you so clingy or something? But I don't know. I didn't like the chorus at all, honestly. So here's what I wrote down. Feels like a Christian song, which is pro for me. But there are others. I understand that others may look at this and be like, no, this is clearly about a lover. You're actually stupid. But that's what's cool about being human. Our backgrounds are so different. We can take a song and just interpret it two ways differently. That's why I love music. It's something to be interpreted. It's and I'm sorry if I came across as, oh, I'm Christian, so you have to be Christian if you want to be. That's not the case at all. You believe whatever you want, and if you're interested, feel free to hit me up on Instagram, and I'll talk to you about it if I can. But if not, stick around. This channel isn't about Christianity, it's about music, and that's just part of my personal life. Anyway, to get off of that, again, I said the chorus is a too radio friendly sounding, religion adjacent lyrics, but overall this one's probably a skip for me, just because of that chorus. That chorus really brings the song down. I'm gonna give it a 6.5 out of 10. Listenable, but not my first choice. Oh yes, this one's a 10 out of 10. I've already heard this song. So that was Panic Attack. Yeah, 10 out of 10. If you couldn't tell by how I reacted to it. So, funny little story about this song. This was the first ever Dream Theater song I ever heard, and it was the only one I listened to for a long time. And I had this friend who was all like, bro, listen to more. And I was like, yeah, I'll listen to more. And I didn't really listen to him. And it was around... I'm getting a little personal here. But you know, sometimes you gotta be vulnerable. So, it was around 2021. No. So very beginning of 2023, New Year's Day, right as the clock strikes midnight, I find out he passed away from cancer, and you know he'd been fighting with that for a long time, and that really hit me hard. So you know it been like maybe a month or so, and I was at this little used music store, and I saw a Dream Theater CD, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give it a shot. And you know, I listened to it was Images and Words, first ever full Dream Theater album I listened to, and I listened to that, and it, you know, I was like, man, I wish I could have talked to you about this. And you know, it just, Dream Theater ever since then, it's just been like it's been a band I've been emotionally attached to. You know, it's easily one of my top 10 bands, and you know, I love this band to death. Sorry, it's kind of hard to think of what else to say after that, but I had heard Panic Attack, and then I listened to Pull Me Under, obviously, but it came on the radio one time, and I was like, ooh, this is cool. But I was trying to find this album, and I couldn't find it. So I found Images and Words, listened to that, and I was like, oh, cool, 90s. And, you know, it just kind of hit me that, man, I wish I could have talked to you about this album. I wish you could have given me, I don't know, I just wish we could have had more conversations about it. But let's move on. Yeah, easily a 10 out of 10. The only time I've ever skipped this song whenever it's come on is if I don't have 8 minutes and 13 seconds to listen to the whole thing. It is a masterpiece. Easily top 10 song. Like, bro, this song slaps. Let's move on. 10 out of 10 if I didn't say already. This outro's weird though. See what it transitions into. I've never heard what it transitions into. Oh, really? Okay, just hard cut and never enough. I've heard this one too. So good. So I want to dive into the lyrics really quickly since I've already heard this one. I'm sorry for pausing if this is like your favorite song off the album. I understand that, but I want to talk about it. So the last song, this song and the last Panic Attack and this song are really heavily like lyric content. You know, it's really heavy lyric content. The last one was about anxiety, which I relate to a lot, because that's something I struggle with. And then this song is about kind of the where I got the oh, you're being overworked, because I heard Panic Attack and then this song, and I was like, why is he anxious? Well, he's anxious because of his work. And you know, this is kind of like a diss to his boss, but it can also be looked at as a diss to the fans if you look at it from James, like or not just specifically James, but from the band's perspective. You look at the lyrics and it's cut myself open wide, reach inside, help yourself, help yourself to all I have to give, and then help yourself again, and then complain that you didn't like the way I put the knife in wrong. Like, you know, that can be attributed to a band evolving and changing their sound, and maybe that was some criticism they got for Train of Thought, like, oh, you're too heavy now, there's no passion anymore, or whatever the older, not necessarily older, but the snobs had to say, you know, oh, you're not, what happened to all your passion? And you know, you look at bands that have evolved from the original sound, and you see people like, man, you guys suck now, and it's like they pour their heart and souls, most of them pour their heart and souls into these songs, and not specifically talking about Dream Theater, but bands pour themselves into these songs, and they write them, and then they put them out, and the older fans complain that, oh, this isn't what you used to sound like, I don't like this. And then it's just like, yeah, and it goes into what would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate? But then it'd be too late, because I can only take so much of your ungrateful ways. And it's like, could be about the industry, but you know, just looking at it plainly, it's a deep song. I really like it. It's really good. I'll let it play now. Very emotional. Okay, sorry for pausing again, but say what you want about James LaBrie, you know, he's older, and you know, his vocals aren't exactly up to par live all the time, but he can, in the studio, he can convey emotion crazy good, at least in this album. Like, in the last one, he really made it seem like he's panicked, you know? There's a sense of urgency in his voice. This one, you can feel anger in his voice. He's really good at that. Say what you want, but he's good at that. Oh yeah, I missed it. There, that's what I meant to do. I just hit my mic, I'm sorry. Chill out. Oh my gosh, those drums. I don't even have to say anything about Mike Portnoy, he's just insane. Man. That song is so freaking good. Like, I kind of dove into the lyrics earlier, about how, you know, it could be about the main character's boss in this situation, who's stressing him out, and he's just ready to quit because the boss is giving him nothing but grief, and no one likes a boss who gives you nothing but grief. But you know, it could also be dissected as industry, like I said earlier. But it could also, you know, like I said earlier, you might interpret a song differently than I do, but it could also be interpreted just as like anything in your life that's just a stressor. You know, it could be angsty middle schooler seeing this about how much he hates school, or it could be your parents like, oh, they work me too hard, they slaved me away. It could be your job. It could be anything that just stresses you out, and it's just like a therapeutic experience, you know, just to say, what would you say if I walked away? Would you appreciate it, but then it'd be too late? You know, you could sing that about anything that stresses you out, and it just, yeah, this song is incredible. It's an easy 10 out of 10. I will say the transition into it was a little rough compared to the other ones, but it's still, the song carries. Like, oh my gosh, yeah, it's crazy. Love this song. Not sure, like, speaking in tongues ending here, or like different language, I don't know, bit strange, but Sacrifice Sons, new song, have not heard this one. Crazy transition. Scared the crap out of me. Okay. So this is kind of about xenophobia, is that what it's called? Like racist against the Middle East. I could be wrong, but it's about, so it could be about something like that. It's about 9/11. 10 minutes. Okay, we're in for a ride. Strap in, boys.
There are times in our lives that are life-changing, where your life will never be the same, and this appears certainly to be one of them.
The point this was written, probably only like maybe a year or two after 9/11, or it could have been written on 9/11. You never know. Oh, that's weird. Leaning into the psychedelia a little bit, man. That is heart-wrenching. This is the same progression from As I Am off of Train of Thought. Oh my gosh, John Young on this album, bro. Popping off. got an epic here. Okay. As I am again. Sacrifice sons. All right. So right off the bat, I noticed that. Let me just do this. Get to back and forth between albums really quick. Or not. Okay. Apparently, I don't have train of thought saved. Let me fix that really quick. Okay. So, right off the bat, same chord progression from the song. Let's see. That's kind of same progression there. Excuse me. Yeah, same progression as I am, which is pretty cool. And so this song, where'd it go? Oh, we're almost done. So, from my perspective, it sounded. So here's what I'll just tell you what I wrote down. So it's a lot of heart-wrenching lyrics, you know. They have this lyric like, no clues, a complete surprise. Who'll be coming home tonight? That is awful. You know, I was born in 2005, like I said earlier, so I didn't experience 9/11, thankfully. So, you know, I can only imagine how horrifying that had to be. And then same progression from As I Am, as I just discussed. The keyboard was popping off in this song. They had kind of like an instrumental jam section there in the middle. They like to do that a lot, where they, especially in these longer songs, where they'll just be like, you know, they'll have like a verse, chorus, verse, then they'll switch it up, have like a jam session, go back into the other thing, and those those transitions were really clean, and they flowed together really well. And then I also noticed the parallels with Train of Thought are because of the religious themes of both of these albums. It seems like this kind of seems like a conversation back and forth between a dude or a person, the main character, who's just my interpretation so far, who's like struggling. You know, they're anxious, they're stressed out, they're angry, and they're just stressed out about life. They're done with life, and between the person who's going through all that and God or a lover. And I've already kind of expressed my opinion on that, so I won't really hammer it into you, but yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. And then it seemed to be there was like a dissection of the Muslim religion. Words they preach I can't relate. If God's true love are acts of hate. That's because part of the Islam, which is the religion that the terrorists followed, for those of you who don't know, part of that is they essentially get higher. I'm not super educated on this topic, but from what I know, they get higher ranks in heaven because for how many like heretics they kill. So yeah, it's a little rough, like I said earlier, you believe whatever you want to. I am not, I'm not trying to force anything on you. I don't want you to. Yeah, it's rocky territory, and this album is about controversial things. So obviously we got to talk about controversial things, but everyone thinks differently. There are some people who look at this song and like that's extremely offensive, and I can understand that. If someone came out and just started saying these things about Christianity, I would be taken aback, but there are, I'd be taken aback, but it's important to just take in other people's opinions and not be offended about everything. That's the biggest problem about the world today, is everyone is always offended about everything on both sides. It's not politically on both sides. On both sides of any argument, there's insults being thrown instead of being civil, discussing why you believe what you believe. If there was more of that, there would be less violence, but there's not going to be more of that because we live in a broken world. Anyway, it's either a dissection of the Muslim religion, or it's just a criticism of religion in the first place, saying that, oh, none of these attacks would have happened if no one was religious, which take that, my opinion on that. But it's, like I said, you gotta take in what everyone else says and consider why they're thinking the way they're thinking. And in the context of 9/11, that makes sense as to why they would be thinking, oh, religion is the issue that caused this. Yeah, super interesting song. I don't have any complaints. That's a 10 out of 10 for me. So far we have, let me count them up here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 10 out of 10s, and this is a 8-song album. Yeah, we are heading at full speed to the final song, so let's just get into it. Octavarium, I've already heard this song, but with the context of the album, it's going to be different. So yeah, I'm still going to review it as if I have not heard it. This is such a good song.
Still I swear that I'm missing out this time. As far as I could tell, there's nothing more I need. But still I ask myself, could this be everything? Then all I swore that I would never be was now so suddenly the only thing I wanted to become, to be someone just
Okay. They've really let John Young shine in this album. I remember this part. This is a dude basically saying, oh, I've been in a coma for 30 years. That's crazy. They don't have these lyrics synced right.
He asked me how I feel. Not sure I understand.
Then he kind of goes back into the...
He says I've been
Oh, I got a realization there.
but thinks he has cured me from a state of catatonic
I'll talk about it at the end.
sleep. For 30 years, where have I been? Eyes open, but not getting through to me. And filtrate me. Side effects appear as my conscience slips away. Science failing, conscience fading fast. Can't you stop what's happening?
Okay, this song is spitting.
Higher dose.
These lyrics are slightly out of sync and it's taking me off.
There's no guarantee. I feel it starting to take over me. Tell 'em not to be ashamed. There's no one who's to blame. A second shot of brief awakening. I feel the relapse can't break free. Eyes open,
that chromatic
but
thing.
not getting through to me.
Okay, the lyrics are back in sync.
As my conscience slips away, science failing, conscience fading fast. Can't you stop what's happening?
This part's epic. Oh, I'm getting dizzy from all the headbanging. Ugh. I remember this next section too, and I have no ideas on what it could mean. To me, it seemed like pop culture references.
Hatred by DMs red.
Remember, this is kind of a reference to Dance of Eternity, scenes from a memory kind of vibe. Yeah, Dance of Eternity here. How good this part was. Timing's so weird. It's so crazy. Well, it's so hard to keep up. Gosh, I'm dizzy. Maybe I shouldn't film these in
Our
bulk.
deadly sins feel his mortal wrath. Remove all obstacles from our paths. Asking questions, search for clues. The answer's been right in front of you. Try to break through, long to connect. Fall on deaf ears and fail muted breath. Loyalty, trust, faith, and desire carries love through each darkest fire. Tortured insanity, a smothering hell. Try to escape, but to no avail. The calls of admirers claim they adore. Drain all your lifeblood while begging for more.
Okay, so that's definitely about
Merciless crimes,
industry.
operated from madmen, awesome designs. Step up, yeah, we try controlling our fate. When we finally start living, it's become too
Ooh,
late.
that's a bar.
Trapped inside this Octavarium. Trapped inside this Octavarium. Trapped inside this Octavarium. Trapped inside this Octavarium.
This ending is so perfect. And all the melodies before that, I was all like, oh, I've heard this from something. either Train of Thought or this song. It all builds to this song. Like, gosh, it's so good. Man. I really wanted to hit that 24-minute mark. Alrighty, so that was Octavarium by Dream Theater. Holy crap, that was an out-of-body experience. I feel like I have been on a saga. Maybe it's because it's 11:56 at night for me, or maybe it's because it's just that good of an album. Man, that was crazy good. Honestly, probably one of my top 10 albums right there. Man. So, just as some last notes for Octavarium here. I'm sorry, my music's way too loud. So, just kind of some last notes for Octavarium here. I wrote down the 30-year coma can be a metaphor for being stuck in the cycle. So, you know, at the end of the last verse, he was talking about, oh, there's not really much to experience. Maybe I should just stick with the cycle. So he sticks with it. And then he ends up just droning on for 30 years. And, you know, whenever he gets out of it finally and realizes, oh, I could have been living, he just gets sucked right back into it because that's what he's used to. That's what he's comfortable with. And that's pretty deep. I still don't really know about the pop culture references verse. I just said maybe he finds pop culture as a release from the cycle. Maybe he sees that as, oh, it's these people are living their lives to their fullest. These things are portraying living your life to the fullest, and maybe he sees that as a release. And in those last couple of verses, there was definitely some anger towards the music industry / the fans, where he was talking about you have a lot of admirers, but they're all, you know, just they're admiring you for what you did, not what you're doing, and it's false, you know. It's pretty good. Moving in circles on the razor's edge represents the shortness of life and how we waste it. And then the story ends where it began, is like the generational curse, how we kind of curse our children ever since the Industrial Revolution. It's kind of been cursed generation by generation to follow the same path, to work until you can't anymore, to make money, to provide for your family. And whether you see that as a good thing or a bad thing, it is something that has happened since then. At least that's how I interpret it. So yeah, that's kind of how I interpreted the album, that last song. So what I gather from the album, what I gather from the album, I'm going to look up what it actually means and see if I'm anywhere close, but I see it as a conversation between a man struggling with himself and God, and in the middle of this conversation kind of thing, 9/11 happens, and he's all like, really? And you know, it just hits, and I don't know, it's kind of where I see it. It hits, and then he kind of goes through more conversation like, why'd you allow this to happen? And then he grows. He realizes, I need to live my life to the fullest because any day could be my last day. And so he gives up, you know, worrying about things that really don't matter. He gives up his job and all that. And then, you know, he gets to a point where he is living his life to the fullest. And then he gets to the point, like I was talking about earlier, where he starts craving the cycle again, realizing things probably were better off when I was in this cycle. And then he gets back in it. He's in it for 30 years, and he gets out of it for a brief moment, and he realizes things were better outside of this cycle, but he gets drugged straight back into it. And it's kind of a representation of, again, the endless cycle that everyone gets drawn into. Work till you're dead, basically. And especially in today's like political climate, that's something that's discussed a lot. It's, oh, they want you to work till you're dead, and that is a reality. Some higher ups want to abuse their power and work you till you're dead, and you know, that's, this album's kind of, I see this album as kind of a warning against that. So overall, counting OCTAVARIUM, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 10 out of 10s out of the 8 songs. There were, most of them were 10 out of 10s. The 2 that kind of drug it down, I'll say, I mean, honestly, like, the album, even with those songs, it's insanely good. Those songs weren't even bad. They were just kind of, they were mediocre compared to the rest of the titans on this album. So honestly, I'm gonna give this album a 9 out of 10. This is definitely one of my top 10 albums. Everyone needs to hear this at least once kind of album. This was incredible. I'm glad I got to share that experience with you guys. So now for the moment you've all been waiting for, me showing you how much of a fool I am and looking up the real meaning behind OCTAVARIUM. OCTAVARIUM meaning. Okay, so according to the fan wiki here, oh my lord, this is something. It's their 8th studio album. Completed the meta album concept. Okay. Studios to write and record OCTAVARIUM without any preconceived concept for the album, leading it to be a more traditional style. Concept did revolving around the numbers 8 and 5. Numbers represent a section of piano known as an octave, right, which has 8 white keys and 5 black keys. 8, 5 became represented in various ways throughout the music and the artwork of the album. Also represent Dream Theater's 8 albums and 5 members. Oh, that's pretty sick. I want to see the meaning. Overwhelmingly positive. Yeah, I can see that. OCTAVARIUM has a concept. 5-8. Demanding. Oh, yeah. So I was right. How it was about Portnoy mad about the demanding fans. Panic Attack is really. John Petrucci love song. So yeah, it was not a religious, not intended to be a religious song, but it gave off that vibe for me. Yeah, reflecting on 9/11. So okay. So from that, it looks like there wasn't really a story concept. It was more of a series of nuggets, I guess, which is cool. So I guess I just trying to follow a story just conjured up the conversation between a dude and God. But honestly, you know, it doesn't matter. Like I said earlier, music should be up to your interpretation. So whatever you interpret it as is, you know, kind of like a headcanon for a movie. You watch like a series of movies and you really like those series, and then they come in 20 years later or so, and then they add a bunch more movies that suck, and you're like, okay, well, these movies aren't canon. That's my head canon. That they're not. These suck. We're not gonna acknowledge them. Star Wars, but anyways, that's kind of what I got from it. Fantastic album. Man, I really enjoyed doing this. This is gonna suck editing though. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Leave a comment what other albums I should do this for. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate everything you guys have done. We're over 400 subscribers now. That's unbelievable. Again, I just, from the bottom of my heart, thank you so much. And I'll see you guys next month for an album review. And I'll see you in the next video, next reaction, or whatever shenanigans I'm doing. I'll see you next time.